And we're both delighted and honoured to have Dame Averil Mansfield on the sofa with us today. Good morning.
Good morning, and thank you for having me.
How was the Pride of Britain Awards?
It was an amazing event, totally unexpected, and you know, totally undeserved in my view.
No.
Are
No,
you
it is.
joking me? Oh, my goodness. You're so modest, which I absolutely love. And this is, I mean, obviously, the Pride of Britain Awards is on tonight, and that was a big part of your week. But yesterday was a pretty big day for you too.
Yes, it was. I went to Windsor to collect my damehood, which was also an amazing day. So it's been quite a week.
That's a round of applause in the studio here now, right here.
Come on now.
That is amazing. That is amazing.
Absolutely incredible.
How was the experience? What was it like?
It's all been... The whole week has been quite amazing, totally amazing. So it's been lovely, absolutely. I feel spoiled.
And rightly so, as you should be. I'd imagine it's quite overwhelming, no?
It is, it is, totally, yes.
But I know you're very, very humble, but on the night, because I was there, the cheer you got was incredible, because everyone in the room knew the impact you have had on medicine across the board in general, but also on the role of young girls taking up medicine, taking up surgery, because you broke through the glass ceiling when nobody was doing it. So tell us a little bit about your background. How did you get into it all?
Well, I was from a working-class background in Blackpool. My father was a welder, and nobody had gone into higher education. But it was pretty clear to me that my parents were intelligent people and supportive of the fact that I, at a very early age, knew I wanted to be a doctor. The reason I knew that was because I'd gone into the local library and read books about medicine and been captivated by it and wanted to do it. And so I had tremendous support from the family, at first thinking it was way above my station in life, but then realising that I was going to go for it anyway, so they might as well give me all the support that they could.
And you really were young, weren't you? Because you were 8 years old when you kind of really knew it was a real passion of yours. And am I right in thinking that you would sort of do science experiments in your mum's kitchen?
I did indeed. I loved doing science experiments at home. The only rules were that we had to keep the back door open in case of probably smells as much as
And I imagine tidy up after yourself too, after it was all done.
Well, I don't know whether I did or I didn't. But it was fascinating because in those days you could go to the local chemist and buy the ingredients for your chemistry experiment. Which is incredible, isn't it, to think that you could do that? And I'm sure some of them were quite dangerous, but I loved doing them. And I loved all the things connected with science, really. So that was obviously the way I was heading.
Isn't that the beautiful thing about passion, though?
Yeah.
Because you can't fight it. If you're passionate about something, no one's going to stop you. No one's going to stop you.
That's true, that's
I mean, that was your case, wasn't it?
It was absolutely the case. I knew what I wanted to do. As a medical student, I kept it fairly quiet because you don't say that you want to be a surgeon when you're a medical student. You're concentrating on passing the final exam and becoming a doctor. But as soon as I qualified as a doctor, I explained to those I was working with that actually what I really wanted to become was a surgeon. And
having that passion so young, as Craig touched on, at what point do you realise, actually, yes, this is a passion, this is something I'm really curious about and I'm really interested in, but when does it dawn on you that you're actually really, really quite good at this?
Well, what you do need is someone to actually look at the way you are, the way you do things. And I had the good fortune to have good people around me who were prepared to watch my early faltering footsteps and guide me and then say, you're fine, you can do it, go for it. It will be OK, you can do this.
How many people said you couldn't do it because you're a woman?
Really nobody. I never met that kind of discrimination. I met the occasional...
That makes me happy.
...surprise. For example, my boss, when I told him I was going to get married, said, what a pity you had such a promising career as a surgeon. And, you know, I was totally amazed by that, totally taken aback. And I said, well, I'm still planning to become a surgeon. Doesn't really make any difference. But in those days, it did make a difference. Most people in a professional career were expected to give up that professional career if they got married. It was nurses, teachers, many people were struggling if they got married to continue with their profession.
And it's still incredibly... It's 1993, though.
Yeah.
Was when you became the first female professor of surgery. 1993 doesn't seem that long ago.
No, which feels really late. As you know, as Carol touched on in that clip, it feels extremely late.
It is. It is. It is. It's amazing that that was the first time in this country that any woman had made it to the top of an academic department in surgery. And
It's mind-blowing.
It is. It's nonsense, really.
Yes, it is nonsense. There you go.
That's a better word. That's a better word for it. How does it feel being such a big inspiration to young women? Because, you know, being the first and the legacy that you have and the incredible work that you've done, how does it feel almost... it seems like you're taking it in your stride, being such an inspiration.
Well, I do get a lot of pleasure out of the fact that the young women do relate to me and do see me as somebody that's supported them in their careers and given them that little leg up, perhaps, towards achieving things. I mean, one of the ladies that is a surgeon has had my photograph on her notice board, and that, I think, wow, how amazing that somebody would do that. Just because that is her inspiration, to have somebody that's been ahead of her to give her the guide to where to go next.
That is
So
fabulous.
that is
You
important.
are so humble
Yeah.
and you're so iconic, and honestly, it's a pleasure to talk to you, and you really are just... You're taking it all in your stride.
Like all
can't
good
believe
surgeons
it.
should be, mellow.
Yeah.
You know, it was a very happy career for me. I loved it. I felt privileged to be a part of it. So you know, I was doing a job that I loved, and that you can't say better than that, can
No,
you?
you can't.
Well, congratulations again
Thank
on
you
what
so
a week
much.
you've had.
Yeah.
It's absolutely incredible. And the Pride of Britain Awards are on tonight at 8 o'clock, and we'll be watching your moment
Thank you.
in all
Thank
its
you so
glory.
much. Thanks.
Not at
Lovely
all.
to meet you. Really,
You're
it's
welcome.
great to meet
Thank
you.
you.